Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 6 March 2025. It's Thursday night at 9. Must be time for a knife sale on the Apostle P channel, and a knife sale we shall have. First off, I need you to be familiar with and agreeable to the terms of the sale, which I will post on the screen for you in just a moment. I will also print them in the description underneath this video. Also, in the description, above the terms of the sale, you're going to see 3 links to previous videos on this channel. The first one is entitled A Primer for Buyers. That's a 38-minute expanded explanation of the terms of the sale. So, if you're new to this weekly sales event and you'd like to buy a knife or 5, please watch that. It will explain to you exactly what we do every Thursday night and why. And it'll make your purchase experience go much more smoothly if you know that stuff. The second link is called FAQs for Consignors. That video pertains to you if you're interested in using this weekly sales event to move along some of your personal collection. And then the third link, as always, is to my rates and services video for the TheApostleP Knife Service, the original precision sharpening service for the online knife community. So in the all-important video description, you'll see those 3 links at the top, then the terms of the sale, and at the bottom will be the list of tonight's inventory, complete with timestamps down the left side, pricing down the right. In the pricing column, you'll generally see 2 numbers. The one to the left of the slash is the price of your knife as shown in the video, and then the price on the right is as sharpened by the TheApostleP Knife Service. There will be no next day sharpening this week. I've got some stuff going on. But if you want your knife sharpened, it'll take about 3 to 4 weeks for it to be complete. Now, if you see the word sold, all caps exclamation point in that right-hand column in lieu of a price, that means the item you're looking at has been bought and paid for by its new owner. No need to send any inquiries or I'll take it messages about anything marked sold. I believe that's it for the preliminaries. Let's get the terms up on the screen for you, and then we'll be right back with the sale. Here are the terms. All right, let's get to it, shall we? First up, we got some leftovers to take care of from last week. The first one is going to come in this very interesting velveteen green pouch. This one comes to us from iBrand, Zollingen, Germany. It is the 350 DS Serpentine Stockman in Stag. 3.5 inches closed length, stainless steel blades, Stag covers, and a round shield. Nickel silver bolsters, brass liners. There is your mark side Stag. There's your pile side. Nice figuring, good physical match. Main blade is a clip point with the Coll iBrand etch. Long pull cut swedge. Rides on cam tangs. Nice walk and talk. Center blade is a sheep's foot, just a tiny bit of congressing rub, and a pen. Pull weight, we'll call it a 7. Near mint, no box, discontinued, not a stock. Sold listings for these knives range wildly depending on the condition and the nature of the Stag, but I found sold listings on eBay between $97 up to over $200. We ran this last week at $125 on Thursday, dropped it to $110 for the weekend. This week at $99 buys it, all in, shipped priority mail, $139. I sharpen all 3 blades. That's the iBrand 350 DS Serpentine Stockman in Stag. Next, we have the same knife in a different configuration, different covers anyway. It comes in the original box. Tells it's the 350Y Serpentine Stockman. Same dimensions, 3 9/16, a little longer, 3 9/16 inches in closed length, stainless steel blades, yellow Delrin covers. This has a brass shield, nickel silver bolsters and brass liners. Main clip point blade, Coll iBrand etch, long pull cut swedge, secondary sheep's foot, and a pen blade. Pull weight on this one about a 7.5. More hydraulic walk and talk on this one. We'll say near mint in box. These are discontinued and out of stock, sold listings on eBay ranging between $100 and $185. We ran this last week at $100. No takers, dropped it to $85 for the weekend. It's still here. Somebody gets this one this week for $75, shipped priority mail. $115 if you would like me to sharpen those 3 blades. The I brand 350Y Serpentine Stockman in Delrin. Next we have one from Drop and Ferrum Forge. Our label says this is the buck in blue, which is kind of a rare, hard to find colorway on this knife. So produced for Drop, designed by Ferrum Forge. Got some trails in the blue, trying to catch those for you. When you look at it dead on, they're barely visible. Titanium scales on both sides in blue. Raw titanium blasted gear pattern backspacer with a lanyard hole, milled titanium right hand ambidextrous tip-up clip. Steel inserted titanium frame lock. Flipper works great. There's your blade. It's a swashbuckling cleaver thing. Nice satin. Blade steel is S35VN. Blade length is 3 7/16. The handle's 4 3/8. Very efficient blade to handle ratio. You can grip it back, you can grip it forward. There's your lock engagement. It's rock solid. Smooth and free. Lots of lock bar tension. Perfect centering. We'll call this excellent in box. They're out of stock, have been for a while. When they were available, they were $170 web new. Can't find these available anywhere or recently sold in blue. We ran it last week at $120, got no takers, dropped it to $105 for the weekend. It's still here. Let's go $95 like it is, $120 with an ApostleP edge. That is the buck in blue, short for Buccaneer, I imagine, from Drop and Ferrum Forge. Next up, we have another knife from that same partnership. This is back when the company was called Massdrop, but we have a Ferrum Forge designed Falcon inside the box. This is kind of a smallish knife. Same consignor, same wear pattern as the buck. Just some trails in that blasted titanium finish, very light. But it's been in the pocket some. There's your milled titanium right-hand tip-up clip. They'll also flip to the left side, it looks like. Little titanium backspacer with a lanyard hole. Ball bearing flipper. And a titanium frame lock with steel lock face insert. There's your lockup. Here's your blade. Kind of a harpoon spear. Hard to get that etch. Kind of cool. S35VN is your blade steel. The length of that blade's 2 7/8. The length of the handle's 3 7/8. Lockup dead rock solid. Very smooth ball bearing action. Perfect centering. Flipping action is great. That is a great knife in that grip right there. Great little stylish utility knife. Great little EDC. The Falcon. We'll call it excellent in box. Handle trails noted. These are out of stock and I couldn't find the original price. Sold listings on eBay range wildly between $81 and $285, which I think is a great indicator of what happens to one of the highline Chinese knives that has some evidence of wear. It kind of hurts the value. So if you're looking at this knife as a user, which you should, you're going to be stunned. We ran this last week at 110, got no takers, dropped it to 99 for the weekend. Still here. Somebody gets it this week for 89 bucks, like it is. 114 if you'd like it to have my edge on it. That is the Falcon from Massdrop and Ferrum Forge. Next up, we have an offering from We Knife. Made better, says the pouch. No outer box with this one, just a pouch. Got some goodies, though. This is the 2103B Thug. Kind of a cool knife. Kind of a stubby. Kind of a fat stubby. Very cool, sort of an antique satin in that titanium. Just some slight trails. I like the bronze pivot and collar. Titanium backspacer with a lanyard post. Milled titanium right-hand tip-up clip. This knife uses thumb studs for deployment. It is riding on ball bearings. That blade is a compound ground recurved tanto, just slightly recurved. A Christensen design. We got a CPM 20 CV blade, 2 3/4 inches in length. 3 3/4 is your handle length. Steel inserted titanium frame lock. Locking up right there. Lockup is dead rock solid. Blade is smooth going around. Centering's perfect. We'll call it excellent. In pouch, no outer box, just because of a little bit of very slight trailing. These are currently available brand new for a web retail price of $232. We ran this last week at $145, got no takers, dropped it to $130 for the weekend. It is still here, and this week somebody gets to buy it for $120 bucks, shipped priority mail, $155 with an ApostleP edge. That is the 2103B Thug from We. Next, we have one from Kizer that's going to come in the Digicam pouch, no outer box. This is the KI 4491A1 Uprising. It's a titanium frame lock Kizer. It's got trails. It's got these two areas of like burnished polish. I'm not sure how that happens. Some kind of carry system caused that. Titanium clip, spring variety, right hand tip up. It is a titanium frame lock steel inserted. Nice flipper tab. Rides on ball bearings. Nice stonewash finish on the sort of California clip blade. S35VN is your blade steel. 3 9/16 is the blade length. 4 5/8 is the handle. Pretty nice in the hand, gotta say. There is your lock engagement. It's rock solid. Centering is that good, about perfect. We'll call it very good. In pouch, no outer box. Excellent. Well, you might call it excellent. There's really no damage to the blade at all. Probably could use sharpening, but anyway. They're discontinued and out of stock. I found one current eBay listing for this knife, not sold, currently for sale. They want 280 bucks, buy it now. We ran this last week at 130, dropped it to 110 for the weekend. Still here. Let's go 95 bucks, like it is. 120 with my edge on the Uprising from Kizer. Next, we have one from Kansept Knives, the high line of Kizer. The knife inside is the Entity, model number K1036A1, designed by Nalu Knives. Here it is. Not a bad looking knife. Love the diamond pattern matrix, the double diamond matrix of drilled and chamfered holes in the titanium. Glass bead blasted and crowned are the scales. The clip is, I think it's steel, right-hand tip-up deep carry. Steel inserted titanium frame lock, ball bearing flipper. Flips beautifully. Kind of a harpoon spear. Blade steel on the entity is S35VN. Blade length 3 9/16. The handle 4 5/8. There's your lock engagement. It is rock solid. Super smooth ball bearing action. Perfect centering. Near mint inbox, very, very slight trails on that titanium. Discontinued and out of stock. When these were available, they were $180 web retail. We ran this last week for $125, dropped it to $110 for the weekend. This week's price, $100 like it is. $125 if you'd like to come with an Apostle P Edge. That's the K1036A1 entity from Kansept. Next, why did this knife get no love last week? I don't know. It's from Spyderco, made in Golden, Colorado, USA Earth. It's a pair of 3 FRN with blue scales and a Spy 27 blade. Here's the knife. Nice deep blue. Pocket clip, wire, deep carry, tip up, ambidextrous. Compression lock mechanism. Opens with a hole and rides on phosphor bronze washers. There is your blade steel. Maybe. There, Spy 27. Eric and Sales maker marks. 2 15/16 inch blade, 3 1/4 handle. As this knife is adjusted, I have a little side play, and it drops fairly freely. If I try to tighten that pivot to get the side play out, I don't have a free dropper anymore. So just know that going in. Blade centering, really nice. We'll say, I don't know, near mint to like new in box. Currently available new for a web retailer, a Spyderco map price of $141. We ran this last week at $100, dropped it to $90 for the weekend. It's still here, so somebody gets a great little user pair of 3 lightweight. $80 shipped priority mail, $105 with my Edge. The Spyderco pair of 3 FRN blue and Spy 27. That brings us to our last leftover from last week. It comes in a big box because it's a fixed blade from Spyderco. It is a Nightstick designed by Gail Bradley. And it's a Spyderco Collector Club knife made in August of 2020. Collector Club serial number 1. There's only one of those. There's only one. Here it is. Comes in a Kydex sheath with the G-clip attached. Decent pop. Here's the knife. The Nightstick is a dagger, and a slim dagger to boot. Blade steel's S30V. Blade length 4 3/16. Handle length 4 1/4. This is polished black G10. Polished aluminum tubes. And there is your 001 designation. Only the bottom edge is sharp on this knife. Looks like about 32nd thick at the top. I would not suggest that you sharpen the top edge because it's Collector Club knife number 1. There's that. Now we ran this last week at $295, and they're of course gone, right? And it's Collector Club knife number 1. We ran it at $295 Thursday, dropped it to $275 for the weekend. It's still here. Your price this week, $260, like it is. $285 for me to sharpen, but probably don't want me to. And then we also have this left over from last week from Hitch and Timber. It's a little micro run slip that carries a Fisher Space Pen and a 58mm Victorinox knife. And we're just throwing that in for free. $260, like it is, $285 with an TheApostleP edge. That's the Nightstick Collector's Club Knife number 1 from Spyderco. That brings us to the fresh stuff. Excuse me. Now, these first 7 are donated items to the channel, and we're going to use them to buy some new video equipment, I believe. And I think, let's see, 1, 2... all but one of these have my edge already applied. The first one is from Benchmade. It's a 15080-1 full-size Crooked River, the gray G10 variant. So we have an axis lock knife, beautiful sort of natural hard anodized aluminum bolsters, orange anodized aluminum pivot collars, orange G10 backspacer, polished split arrow ambidextrous tip up clip, and that thing of beauty right there. Beautiful clip point blade. First production knife, number 180 of 400. Blade steel is S30V. Blade length is 3 15/16. The handle's 5 3/8. If you can't find the right place to hold this knife on this handle, there's something wrong with your hand. And if I didn't say, this is one that's wearing my edge. I sharpened this for this consignor years ago, and it's never been used, looks like. Maybe carried a little bit. Very near mint in box. First production knife, 180 of 400. These are out of stock. Sold listings on eBay range between $196 and $331, but I will guarantee you the knife that sold for $196 was not a first production run knife, nor did it have my edge on it. Your price for this one, $200. No need to sharpen, and this knife is the Rob's pick in tonight's sale. The 15080-1 Crooked River in gray G10 with an TheApostleP edge. Next up, from Cold Steel. This is, if you've been watching the channel a long time and you kind of appreciate what I do, you might want to look at this knife. From Cold Steel, it's the Ultimate Hunter in CTS XHP, number 30 ULH. So, it's a normal Ultimate Hunter with the 3D machined, blasted finish, black G10 scales, ambidextrous tip-up pocket clips, plural. The lefty clip is in the box. It is a triad lock mechanism. The blade is a saber ground spear point, kind of a fat one. And not only does this have my edge on it, which it does, it also has my finger choil mod, which it kind of likes. Blade length, 3.5 inches of XHP steel, 5 inches of handle. Rock solid lockup. Whoops, there, back there. Drops freely. It centers well. We'll call it near mint in box. The TheApostleP sharpening and choil mod noted. These are long out of stock in XHP and sold listings for this version of the Ultimate Hunter on eBay range between $128 and $169. None of those have my edge or my choil mod. This one does, and it's $125, shipped priority mail. The Cold Steel Ultimate Hunter in CTS XHP with an TheApostleP edge. Next up, a Nudden from Cold Steel. This is an American Lawman in OD green. So this version of the Lawman got thinner and less coarse G10 scales in OD green. The hardware's black. It does have ambidextrous tip-up clips. The lefty clip is in the box. There's your blade, the black PVD coating. There is a superficial scratch in the coating. It's very light. I almost thought it was tape goo, but it wouldn't clean off. So it's been used at least once since I sharpened it, but you can't tell from the edge. The blade on the Lawman is 3 3/16 inches in length. It is in CTS XHP steel. The handle length, 4 3/4. It's a triad lock mechanism. It locks up rock solid. Almost a free dropper. Hard to tell because everything's black, but the centering is close, I'm saying. Favors the top slightly. We'll call that near mint in box. This configuration, the OD green and black with the XHP blade, long discontinued, not a stock. Sold listings on eBay range between $150 and $160, but what they don't have is that edge. This one does. I think there were just 2 of them, by the way. So for 20 bucks under the cheapest one sold on eBay, $130, you get my edge. That is your price. 130 bucks shipped priority mail, no need to sharpen. The Cold Steel American Lawman in OD, PVD, XHP with an ApostleP edge. Next up, the Cold Steel party rolls on. This is a Recon 1. Spear point. So it is a triad lock, or what would that be, like a second or third generation Recon 1, I think. It does feature the coarse textured black G10. It has ambidextrous tip-up clips. Right-hand clip is installed, lefty clip is in the box. The blade in beautifully applied black PVD coating. I don't think they're DLC. They might say they are, but anyway. Blade steel CTS XHP, and it is a spear point wearing an ApostleP edge. And this was the old choil geometry with the lazy plunge grind. So the sharpening choil has been extended, which it needed. Let's see. 3 15/16 is your blade length, 5 3/8 is the handle. It's a thing of beauty, this handle, by the way. It can be gripped in a variety of ways very securely. Speaking of security, the triad lock locks up rock solid. Free dropper. Centering is very, 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 very close. I'll call it near mint in box. My sharpening noted. These are discontinued and out of stock in XHP steel with the spear point blade. One sold listing on eBay for the twin to this knife that did $187. Didn't have my edge. This one can be yours, all in, shipped priority mail. $140. That is the Cold Steel Recon 1 spear point with XHP blade and an ApostleP edge. Next up, we had the blingier brother to this knife. Was it last week or a couple weeks ago? This is another one from Cold Steel. It is the GoldenEye. Spear point blade. The GoldenEye features, I would call that forest green G10, the thinner variety and the less coarse variety of Cold Steel G10. Pocket clip is anodized gold, and it's ambidextrous, tip up. The blade opens with an opening hole that's adorned with an inner ramped bushing, kind of anodized gold. It works very well. Grabs the skin of your finger. The blade is S35 VN. It's 3.5 inches long, and it's wearing an ApostleP edge. The blade length, the handle length is 4 15/16. Nice finger grooves. They work with my hand very well, and I wear a large size glove. You can sneak forward on that thing. Rock solid lockup. Near free dropping action. Blade centering is perfect. We'll call that near mint in box. These are discontinued, not a stock. Sold listings on eBay range between $125 and $132. There must have just been a couple. This one can be yours, $110. All in, shipped priority mail. No need to sharpen because it already has my edge. That's the Cold Steel GoldenEye with an ApostleP edge. Next up, ooh. From Cold Steel, it is the Steve Austin designed, wink wink, Broken Skull, named after his ranch. This one does not have orange G10. In fact, it says blue right there on the box because it has blue G10. Look at that. That's like confusing my camera. It's so blue. Mm-hmm. You have a triad lock, slim, long, beautiful piece of work. 5 1/4 inch handle. No liners. Makes it very light. Ambidextrous tip-up pocket clips. Right hand installed, lefty in the box. The blade. This is not a typo. The blade length is 4 1/16. I have some fingerprints in that beautiful PVD coating. Blade steel is S35 VN. Lockup is rock solid. Let's see. Yeah, comes out nice. And the centering on this one, I have this listed as close because it favors the bottom slightly. Condition near mint to like new in box. I got to call it near mint because I see pocket lint. But no real wear on the clip, so yeah. Discontinued, not a stock knife. Sold listings on eBay range between $111 and $156 for this colorway. This one can be yours, $95, shipped priority mail, $120 if you'd like it with an ApostleP edge. That is the Broken Skull in blue from Cold Steel. Next up, in the last of our donated lot, another Broken Skull. This one is in gray G10. And it is wearing an ApostleP edge. So you have light gray G10 scales, black hardware, black ambidextrous tip-up clips, lefty in the box. Handle length is 5 1/4. Blade length 4 1/16 inches of S. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not S35. It's CTS XHP. Sorry, early birds, I gave you the wrong steel because I didn't read. Ooh, that should probably be more than this. It's going to be inexpensive because of the light gray. Anyway, triad lock mechanism, rock solid lockup, free dropping blade. Centering on this one. Come on, there we go. Really perfect. And it has an ApostleP edge. And it's sticky sharp and unmolested. So I couldn't find a current or sold listing for this discontinued knife anywhere in the light gray. It's kind of rare, but you'll see how the light gray picks up every little bit of soiling. But this one just has that one little spot, so you could clean it. Very near mint in box with an ApostleP edge. Unobtainium, your price, $100, shipped priority mail. No need to sharpen. That is the Broken Skull in gray with an ApostleP edge from Cold Steel. Next up, we have one from the Benchmade Hunt series. It's a model 15060-2 Grizzly Creek. There's the knife. It's got a little trick up its sleeve, so I don't forget. It has a gut hook that comes out of the spine of the handle. So, diamond wood scales, axis lock mechanism. It's wearing a black titanium MXG deep carry clip, ambidextrous tip up. Or wait, it's not ambidextrous. Really? Son of a gun, I did not know that. Factory clip is in the box, by the way. Oh, that's why. It's because of that gut hook. Anyway, you got a drop point blade with a little recurve, And I need to turn the page. S30V is your blade steel. 3 7/16 is your blade length. 4 5/16 is the handle length. This has been user sharpened, and it is quite sharp. He has a little aesthetic problem going on in the recurve, but and yeah, you know, it's a hard thing to do. Anyway, it is quite sharp. So if you're going to use it, I'm not going to say you need to pay me to sharpen it. Okay. Lockup rock solid. Almost a free dropping blade. And exemplary centering, wouldn't you say? These are discontinued, not a stock. Sold listings on eBay range wildly between $135 and $250. This one, with the titanium pocket clip and the original in the box. I think it's a split arrow parkerized, by the way. Let me look. It is. Let's do this one at $130 shipped priority mail. $155 with an ApostleP edge. The Grizzly Creek from Benchmade. Next up, I bet this won't last long. I do not have the outer box, but I do have a pouch that says Doug Ritter Hogue. So this is the large RSK, scaled in sunburst milled black G10. Pocket clip is black, ambidextrous tip up deep carry, but wait, that's no access lock or able lock. It's a button lock, automatic, with the safety. Safety on, no deploy. Safety off, bing. Blade steel is hard to see, but there it is, right there. Magna cut. Oh yeah. 3 3/8 blade, 4 3/4 handle. Of course, it fits the hand like a glove. Of course, the blade is awesome. Did that say Magna cut? No, it doesn't. That says MR. It says Magna cut here, CPF MC. Yeah, that's better. Now I'm all right with the world. Model number is 54136, by the way. Let's see. Lockup, rock solid. Centering looks about perfect to me. Action, yeah, that's good. We'll call this near mint in pouch, no box. Currently available for a web retail of $210. Let's go $170 on this one, like it is $200. If you like it with an ApostleP edge, that is the Hogue Ritter Auto RSK in Magna cut. Next up, this is kind of a save me from myself moment. I'm always looking for somebody who builds the non-Benchmade bug out, right? Who makes a competitor for the bug out? Well, Hogue does. The model is the 24236 Deka in Magna cut and Ultim with the black clip point blade. It is the Deka to have, in my humble opinion. I love the Ultim. I just love it. I don't care if it's worth a poop structurally. I like the translucence. I love the visibility of the Omega spring for the able lock. Just love it. It's thin. It's super light. It has an ambidextrous tip-up deep carry black clip. The able lock mechanism, phosphor bronze washers, thumb stud deployment. Love the gold anodized thumb studs. DLC coated, CPM Magna cut blade, gorgeous clip point, 3 1/4 blade, 4 5/16 handle, rock solid lockup, nearly free dropping, very thin blade stock, like 80 thousandths ish. I haven't measured it. Look at the blade centering, it's beautiful. My point about the blade stock is that there's not much mass in the blade to make it drop freely. There it went, though. So we'll call it near mint to like new in box. These are out of stock. When they were available, they were $210 web retail. Sold listings on eBay ranging between $166 and $210. Not all those are in this condition, by the way. But your price for this one, $160 like it is. $190. I sharpen that Magna Cut blade. Please buy it so I don't have to. That is the Deka from Hogue. Next up, we have a very interesting knife. Product of Italia. Yeah. This is the Sandrin TCK 2.0. So, what's so special about this? Well, it's not the handle. That's just black, PVD coated, stainless steel. And then somehow we have a back spring. Yes, a back spring that's anodized red. So I'm not sure what material that is. We have a right-hand tip-up pocket clip in black. It is a slip joint. The closed length is 4 7/16. The blade is 3 5/16. What is up with that thing? I got to wipe because it's so shiny. It's like super shiny. It looks like that. What do they call that on Colt revolvers? Royal blue. That's what they called it, with the high polish under the bluing. Look at that. And that it's so hard to catch that reflection. Oh. The blade material is tungsten carbide at 71 Rockwell hardness. For you millennial non-heat treating guys, the HRC. That is hardness Rockwell C scale, by the way. So, 10 points harder than a normal knife. The flats, and these are flats, there is no bevel in that polished black part. And then the bevel is hollow ground with a micro bevel. It is laser sharp, and it's 71 Rockwell. Yeah. So it's a cam tank slip joint. Pull weight, I don't know, it's about a 7. The walk and talk isn't spectacular, but it's not horrible. Centering's pretty nice. The condition is near mint to like new in box. Currently available for a web retail brand new at $299, and you're basically buying that tungsten carbide blade. This one can be yours, $200, shipped priority mail, no need to sharpen. The Sandrin TCK 2.0. Next up, we have a knife from Flytanium. Yes, we do. It is the model number Fly-1386SBS. It's called The Beef, and it is in slate blue. The Beef, all caps. Yeah. Pretty standard Chinese knife. They call this the crossbar lock. Nothing at all like a Benchmade axis lock, except that it's exactly like a Benchmade axis lock. Slate blue G10 scales. Ambidextrous tip-up deep carry pocket clip. Opens with thumb studs. We got a harpoon spay blade. I don't know what you call that. I don't know. Anyway, cool looking stonewash. Blade steel is D2. Blade length is 3 3/8. The handle's 4 9/16. Rock solid lockup. Free dropping blade. I think it's on phosphor bronze. I'm quite sure it is, actually. Nothing wrong with that. Blade centering, bang. We'll call it near mint in box. Currently available new for a web retail price of $60. This one can be yours all in, shipped priority mail. You're not paying any postage, you're not paying any sales tax, $45. Like it is, $70 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Beef from Flytanium. Next up, We have a Chris Reeve warranty box that does not house a Chris Reeve knife. It houses a Spyderco PM2 in Digicam with an S45 blade, the current edition, right? That's kind of non-standard finish on the Digicam. I kind of like it. Look at that. You have the dark, and the light, the dark and the light. The blade, CPM S45VN. I'll just say it, some hack has tried to sharpen this. They didn't do a very good job at all. Anyway, you might, if you buy this, you might want me to sharpen it. Is it sharp? Yeah, I mean, it'll cut, but it's kind of choppy. Anyway, 3 7/16 blade, 4 13/16 handle. Compression lock mechanism. Opens with a hole. Rides on phosphor bronze. Nice action. Perfect lockup. And perfectly centered. I'm going to call it near mint, no box. These are currently available at your favorite online retailer for $199. Spyderco MAP price. This one can be yours for $130. And if you like my edge on that S45 blade, $160. That's the Spyderco Para 2 Digicam Satin S45. Next up, we have another Spyderco. Again, no box. This comes in a Ziploc with some tissue paper. It is the Smock. Interesting knife. So it's a compression lock mechanism, but it operates from the left side with a button instead of the right side by the thumb over there. And it's on ball bearings. The blade, S30V, yes, 3 7/16 inches in length. It is wearing a polished edge. I don't think it's mine, but it's pretty good, so we're not going to touch it. The handle is 4.5, scaled in the sort of second generation, more deeply textured carbon fiber over G10 laminate material. Beautiful. Lockup is rock solid. Ball bearing action is beautiful. Pocket clip is tumble polished, ambidextrous tip up. You can open it with the hole, or you can flip it. Condition, oh, by the way, the centering is off. Favors the top side. We'll call it near mint, no box. Current MAP price for a Smock. Web retail for this knife brand new is $228. Let's do this one at $170, all in, shipped priority mail, no need to sharpen. That's the Smock from Spyderco. Next up, another Spyderco with no beautiful box. This one kind of special. It's a Yojimbo 2 with the Blade HQ livery. Jade G10 scales, black hardware. 4-way black Spyderco clip. And that lovely Yojimbo Warncliffe, DLC coated in CPM M4. Yes. 3 5/16 blade. 4.5 handle. Compression lock mechanism. Opens with a hole, rides on phosphor bronze. Lockup is dead rock solid. The blade is kind of hydraulic. Not exactly free dropping, but beautiful. Perfectly centered. We'll call it near mint, no box. Might have been carried a little. Is there any pocket lint in there? Not really. Carried very little. So, they're discontinued and out of stock. Sold listings on eBay, and there were more than 2, ranging between $325 and $354. This one, I don't know, how about $250? Like it is, $280 with an ApostleP edge on that M4 blade. The Yojimbo 2 Jade, DLC, and M4. Next up, another save me from myself moment. It's a black class Benchmade. It's the 570-1 Presidio 2. The best Presidio folder ever, in my opinion. And the reason why is because of the molded CF Elite scales. They make what has always been a heavy knife very light, even though it still has those full thickness blackened stainless steel liners. Axis lock mechanism, phosphor bronze washers on the pivot, Parkerized deep carry ambidextrous tip up clip, beautiful swedged spear point blade in S30V, 3 11/16 blade, 5-inch handle, rock solid lockup, free dropping blade, perfect centering. There's one defect, I guess you'd call it that. See that black smudge underneath the thumb stud? I don't know what did that, but it didn't clean off with alcohol and a rag. It's just there. Anyway. So near mint in box, smudge noted. These are available new for a MAP price or a web retail of $200 brand new. This one can be yours, $140 all in, shipped priority mail, $165 with my edge. The 570-1 Presidio 2 in CF Elite from Benchmade. Next up we have one from ZT. Experience it. The knife inside is the 562 CF Hinderer Slicer. The CF designates the carbon fiber scale. There's your show side. Stunning carbon fiber. Here's your business side. Stonewashed titanium frame. Hinderer LBS. Ambidextrous tip up deep carry pocket clip. Steel inserted titanium frame lock. Opens with the flipper. Rides on ball bearings. And by the way, fingers on lock bar. Whoops. It does still flip. Blade steel CPM 20CV. Serial number is, wow, 30,044. They've made a few of these. Looks like an unmolested factory edge. Looks to be unmarked. So very near mint. You know, I wrote that there's a nick in the clip. Maybe it's not. I thought it was right on the corner. Anyway, very near mint in box. Currently available new for a web retail or a ZT map price of $292. Let's do $210 on this one. $240 with an TheApostleP edge. That is the ZT0562 CF. Next up, no box, just a Ziploc. The knife is the Kershaw 7800 BLK Launch 6. Black hard anodized aluminum handle. The red bullseye button. Cool spine. Not integral, although it looks like it. Pocket clip will be ambidextrous tip up. It's a button lock auto. Deploys perfectly. Black coated blade and CPM 154. The blade length is 3 5/8. The handle is 5 1/8. The lockup is rock solid. The centering is down the middle. Close. I wrote close. Let's see. It does favor the bottom slightly. We'll call it near mint in box. This knife currently available for a web retail or a Kershaw map price of $154. Let's do $100 on this one. $125 with my edge. That's the Launch 6 from Kershaw. Next up, we got one from the thumbnail. The Three Rivers Manufacturing Neutron 2 in premium titanium scales. A very intricate fine mill pattern on those, by the way. Rocking some aqua O-rings on the thumb studs. There's your blade. CPM 20 CV. 3-inch blade, 4 1/16 handle. It is a titanium liner lock. Rides on phosphor bronze washers and opens with thumb studs like God intended it. It has been attempted to be sharpened, but not very much. It's like they started and gave up. So it's not hurt, but it's not particularly well sharpened either. And there is a little scuff on the pocket clip. Very little. That clip is deep carry titanium, right hand tip up, by the way. There's your lock engagement. It is rock solid. Not exactly a free dropper, but it doesn't matter. We'll call it excellent to near mint. In box. Out of stock at $365 web retail, and there are none for sale on eBay and no recently sold ones with this mill pattern. There was that coarser diamond mill, but I can't remember what that one sold for. This one can be yours at $260 like it is, $290 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Neutron 2 in titanium from Three Rivers. Next up, what would it be like if Ferrum Forge got together with ProTech and made a knife to sell through Blade HQ exclusively? Well, this is it. The model number is bhq.mordax.01. It is a button lock flipper Mordax designed by Ferrum Forge and produced by ProTech. Here's the knife. Black, smooth, hard anodized aircraft aluminum, the engraved Ferrum Forge maker's mark, right hand tip up deep carry pocket clip. It is a button lock ball bearing flipper with a nice detent, a gorgeous drop point blade, an S45 VN. 3 5/8 is the blade length, 4 5/8 is the handle length. It is beautiful in hand. Lock up on the button lock is perfect. Action is free dropping. Centering is perfect. Near mint to like new in box. Blade HQ exclusive, out of stock at $240. Your price for this one, $160 like it is. $190 with my edge on that S45 blade. The Mordax flipper, easy for you to say, flipper from ProTech and Ferrum Forge. Next up, here you go, Cold Steel fanboys. I saved this Cold Steel for near the end of the sale. It's a Formax Elite. What a tank. Scaled and layered black and OD green G10. Tell me that doesn't look cool. Pocket clip ambidextrous tip up. Triad lock mechanism. There is some beef here, boys. That thing must weigh every bit of 8 ounces. Rides on phosphor bronze and Teflon. Opens with thumb studs. Got a swedged spear point blade, beautifully stonewashed in S35 VN. The triad lock is rock solid. The blade is very free. The centering is perfect. The condition is like new in box. This knife currently available brand new at your favorite web retailer for $359. You heard that right. I think that's too high. Why don't we sell this one at $250 like it is, $275 with my edge. The Cold Steel Formax Elite with the black and OD green G10 scales. If you thought that was cool, wait till you see this one from Microtech. This is the model 169RL-10 FL. It is the Stitch RAM-LOK manual with the fluted aluminum scales. It's so pretty. I mean, it is so pretty. Oh. So yeah, black hard anodized fluted aluminum scales, gear pattern titanium backspacer with the lanyard hole. Pocket clip is ambidextrous deep carry tip up with fill tab. You have the RAM-LOK mechanism, which operates very much like the cartridge style axis lock that you saw in the Benchmade Anthem, and it's awesome. Opens with a hole or a fling. Cool bi-finished blade in M390 MK. The blade is 3 11/16 from tip to frame. The handle length is 4 15/16. How is it in the hand? Oh, it's money right there. Lockup is rock solid. Does right on ball bearings, by the way. The centering, I'm calling very, very, very close. It might be perfect. Condition is like new in box. This model with these scales is out of stock. When it was available, it was $300 web retail. Let's offer this one at $240 like it is, $270 with my edge. The Stitch RAM-LOK with fluted aluminum from Microtech. Next up, we have one from Maniago Knife Makers, MKM. The knife in the box is the Maximo in bronze anodized titanium. This is a very cool knife. I get a little Les George vibe from this. A very Umnumzan mill pattern on the bronze anodized titanium scales. Looks like they're glass beaded. It is a titanium frame lock with steel lock face insert. The pocket clip is tip up deep carry right hand only. The titanium backspacer contains the anchor point for the clip, and the nut has a carbide glass breaker. It opens either with thumb studs or a flipper, and it rides on ball bearings. The blade steel is M390. Blade length is 3 5/16. The handle 4 7/16. Nice in the hand. And the flipper tab, very unobtrusive. You can almost sneak forward on that. Yeah, works pretty good. Lockup is dead rock solid. There's your lock engagement. Very smooth ball bearings. Beautiful centering. We'll call this near mint to like new in box. You can buy this knife brand new at your favorite web retailer for $250. Your price for this one, $160 like it is, $190 with my edge on that M390 blade. That's the Maximo in bronze from Maniago Knife Makers. Next up, well boys, we got us a Medford, complete with all the Medford goodies. There we go. Looks like this was purchased new from DLT. The model is a 187 DP for drop point. Blade steel is S90V, finished in black PVD, standard grind, bronze, anodized titanium handle. There we go. Tumbled bronze anodized titanium slabs. Got a little lock bar stabilizer. We have a non-inserted titanium frame lock, carburized the proper way. Milled titanium, stonewashed right-hand tip-up pocket clip. Opens with the hole, a hollow ground. They call it a drop point, but that's more of a spear point. Nicely finished. Blade length on the 187 is 4 3/16, not a small knife. 5 3/16 handle. That'll work. There's your lock engagement. It'll be dead rock solid, yes. Never met a Medford that wasn't. Beautiful action and perfect centering. We'll call this near mint to like new in box. This knife with S90V blade and these finishes is out of stock at $585 web retail. Your price for this one, $425 like it is, $455 with an TheApostleP edge. The Medford 187 DP bronze PVD S90V. Next up, okay, Hinderer fans with big collections that appreciate Hinderer history, you're going to like this, even though we got no box. This is a blast from the Hinderer past. This is a Gen 3 XM18 3.5-inch Sponto non-flipper. So there are several things that make this knife cool. First of all, it's a Gen 3. So that gives you the internal stop pin for closed. It gives you the engraved Hinderer maker's mark without the R. The Gen 2s had the R Hinderer. The Gen 3s just have Hinderer. And this has kind of special Torx hardware, I think. Or are they hexes? They're not Phillips. These are definitely hexes. These might be too, but they're not Phillips. Opens with thumb studs. There's your blade. It is 20 CV, by the way. I had to check with my consignor because it is also sterile. So Gen 3 makes it kind of cool. The non-flipper makes it kind of cool. The special hardware makes it kind of cool. And the sterile blade makes it pretty cool. So let's see what we got. 3.5 inches of 20 CV. There is your lock engagement. No steel insert, just a carburized titanium lock bar. 0 stick, 0 play, 0 walk. Centering's beautiful. Look at that, on Teflon. Pretty cool knife. Got to call it near mint, no box. 2015 production, by the way. Kind of a unicorn. Your price, $395, like it is. $420 with an TheApostleP edge on that 20 CV blade. That is the Hinderer XM18 3.5 Gen 3 Sponto non-flipper sterile. Wow. Next up, we have one from WE, and inside we have a model 19068 J-1 Banter Warncliffe in black burlap micarta, a contoured handle with a black stonewashed CPM S35VN blade. That must be kind of a special one. Look at that little banter, huh? I love the bronze anno maker's mark pivot, the bronze anno thumb studs, ambidextrous deep carry black pocket clip. That comes out nice, guys. There is your tumbled DLC blade. S35VN 2 13/16 blade, 3 5/8 handle. Tiny, but still works in the hand. Ball bearing mechanism opens with thumb studs. Rock solid lockup on a stainless steel liner lock. Perfect centering. Oh, it comes out so nice. Yeah. Near mint to like new in box, kind of a perfect example. Available brand new at your favorite WE retailer for $113. plus tax. This one, $80 all in, shipped priority mail. $105 if you like it with my edge on it. That's a little beauty right there. The Banter Warncliffe in black burlap from We. Next up, it's time for a case. This is a 6254 SS Trapper in blue Rogers corncob jigged bone. Why they put the words in that order is beyond me. Anyway, a great knife. 4 1/8 inches close length. There's your blue corncob bone. Nickel silver bolsters and end caps. Brass liners. 4 1/8 inches closed. Muskrat clip main. On a cam tang. Secondary spay, also on a cam tang. True sharp stainless. Beautiful walk and talk. Centering very, very close. I got the spay blade's really close. The main blade not so much. Condition will be near mint in box. Available new right now for $67 plus tax and postage, or just buy this one. All in $50 shipped priority mail. $80 I sharpen both blades. That is the case 6254 SS Trapper in blue. Next up is our last knife in tonight's sale. It's another case, and it is another 6254 SS Trapper. This is in pocket worn old red bone corn cob jig. I don't know, I think this is a little more attractive than the blue one, but that's just my eye. There's your bone. So 4 1/8 close length, nickel silver bolsters and end caps, brass liners, cam tang mechanism. This might walk and talk a little better than the blue one. Main clip point blade, true sharp stainless, about a 7 pull. That's beautiful. Centering on this one is very, 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 very close. Condition will be near mint in box. Currently available brand new for $72 web retail plus tax and postage. This one you can have for $55 all in, done, shipped, priority mail. $85 with my edge on both blades. The case 6254 SS Trapper in red. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of another weekly knife sale on the Apostle P channel. Hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. Now go get you some knives. Talk to you soon.